Just a little, in the right kind of way. Kids enjoy being scared. They don't find loud and horrific things fun. But if something gives off a vibe of the perfect proportion of creepiness, it will turn a child's head instead of triggering his uneasiness and cause him to back away. It instills in him a sense of adventure, so that he may find out for certain if there's really anything from which to back away from. Candle Cove did that for me. Maybe it was the weird puppets. Maybe it was the themes of haunted caves, murderous pirates, and skin-grinding skeletons. Maybe it was the weird cameras and sound quality. Whatever it was, I was 5 years old in 1971 and caught the pilot one day while Mom was out running errands, and thus the dial was mine to turn. I came upon the show and was instantly hooked. I've been reading up recently, my curiosity reignited and my caution diminished about this theory that the show was just weak signal static, and that these rumors of the screaming episode that apparently earned the Laughingstock and her crew an abrupt pull from the seas and from Channel 58 airwaves. I can tell you right now, it wasn't just dead air or snow. However, I can't confirm the existence of episode 2 through 12 because I didn't get a chance to see it, or for that matter, any episodes of the second season. After all, they only aired once. And this is the story of why I missed them. On Tuesday, September 21st, 1971, I came home from school in my mom's clunky Volkswagen. Since there was nothing particularly interesting on in my mom's eyes, she forfeited the TV to me for an hour while she rode an exercise bike in the basement. And of course, that day, just like several weeks leading up to it, the dial turned right to 58. Episode 6 of Season 1, I would later find out was called Ship Crash. Appropriately enough, the premise involved Percy musing about the lovely song of the singing dolphins. A woman was heard rhythmically cooing in the background, and winds up falling asleep at the helm of the Laughingstock, and apparently, sleep steering crashes her into a large, jagged rock jutting out of the waters in the corner of the cove. The rest of the episode involves Janice and Poppy frantically trying to repair the ship before it sinks, all while fighting sleep. Eventually they spot a strange tree growing near the peak of the mountainous rock and decide it would make for great torchwood for distress beacons, so Janice goes to fetch it. On her journey, she begins to sleepwalk, which is how she comes across Susan Siren. Susan, like most of the other characters on the show, had a cheap but almost intentionally strange design. She was not a puppet, but an actress with her body and face painted a sea-greenish pallor, her lips a vibrant orange to complement it. She was dressed rather, well, inappropriately for a children's show. Her breasts only obscured by a metallic brassiere, small chains, possibly intended for necklaces, serving as the straps. Her bottom piece was also fashioned in this way, with a large, obviously papier-mâché chain attached to her iron panties, and the rock behind her, meant to shackle her there. The top half of her head, including her eyes and nose, was concealed by a headpiece fashioned to make her look more cartoonish, but it had a pale green skin and the large orange hair, and as well, and these spherical orange eyes to match the lipstick. Susan Siren explained to Janice that she was condemned to Lullaby Rock centuries ago when a fleet of ships almost crashed due to her hypnotic, sleep-inducing singing. Janice laments that she can't free Susan, but promises to return to visit if Susan promises to lure another ship, without crashing it, to the rock to secure them. Susan agrees and sings a peaceful song about your hard day at work and how you've earned a nap. That day, I came home from school particularly drained. I remember that much. What happened in kindergarten that would leave a 5-year-old exhausted is lost to time, but I remember being tired. So, taking Susan's advice, I switched from a sitting position on the couch to a lying one and let my heavy eyes sink. Only seconds after my eyelids made everything dark, I heard the song end, and Susan boast to Janice, "Now, watch this." My eyes fluttered open, eager to see what had happened, but I was somewhere else. The room was white, as were my sheets and the bed that I had been tucked into. There were silvery box machines surrounding me, beeping monotonously. A little tube poked into my arm and connected to a pouch of clear liquid above me. I wanted to touch it, but I was afraid of the pain. I wanted to scream, but I had a large tube shoved in my mouth. I wanted to cry and struggle and kick the walls, but I was too weak, so I settled for just lying there and sobbing. After a few minutes of that, a woman in a white dress rushed in and called for a doctor who just stood there and studied me. But he did call my mother, and after that I was unhooked from all those machines and latched onto her, exchanged happier sobs with her, and she sat me down and explained that I'd been in a coma for nearly 2 years. So, why is my curiosity only rekindled now? I suppose I never related it to the show. The doctors never gave a straight answer as to what happened to me, so who else could have known what happened? I only started looking into it about a week ago. Around a month ago, my mom died, and we had a funeral. I was going through some of her tax receipts when I found an empty envelope from NASA, dated December 29th, 1971. The kind of envelope a check might arrive